Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen, welcome back to Sunday morning and the old cookbook show. Today we're going to do a recipe out of this little cookbook called A Compilation Cottage Cookery Recipes. This was published in 1899 in Newcastle on Tyne, and it is the Northern Counties School of Cookery and Household Economy textbook. There's a series of them, high-class cookery, cottage cookery, and household cookery. So 3 different books with 3 different classes of cooking. Cottage cookery is the bottom level. That's not a bad thing. I mean, the recipes in this book are solid recipes. They're straightforward cooking, tasty cooking, and I think in a lot of ways, very useful in today's economy because a lot of the recipes are a little bit smaller. There's no wastage. Nothing goes to waste. And they're not extravagant. They don't use expensive ingredients that you have to track down from some far off place. Most of them are very easy to get. And today we're going to do something called jam puffs with a potato pastry. And I chose this one because it contains mashed potato in the pastry. And so this is just mashed potato, boiled potato, no salt, no butter, no cream, anything like that. Just boiled, mashed up, and chilled. First thing we need to do is make the pastry. So I've got some flour, baking powder, salt, and chilled butter. It just calls for fat, but butter is fat, so we're going to go with that. Put the lid on and we'll pulse this. Okay, you want to pulse this until the flour is completely covered in the fat and it looks like fine grains of sand, which it does. The idea is gluten forms when water and flour mix together, and then you either give it time or you knead it. By coating the flour in the fat, the water isn't going to get in there. It's going to inhibit the formation of long gluten chains, giving you a much tender pastry. So there's water in this flour, and we're supposed to add a little bit of water later to make a dough. This first step, if you completely mix it properly and fully and thoroughly, you're not going to get those long chains of gluten, and you're going to have a much more tender pastry. And so look at that. That flour is completely coated in the butter. Now, in goes the potato, and we'll pulse that again. The next instruction is to add just enough cool water for it to come together into a stiff paste. It's not going to take much water at all. Eyeball it at this point. The mashed potatoes brought a lot of moisture into this mixture. So I can at this point just go full on. That's it. That was maybe a teaspoon of water. Okay, a little flour on our bench. We got the dough out here. Oh, it's so soft. Now I'm supposed to roll it out thin and then cut into rounds. Oh, that is so nice. That dough is so nice. It is a little bit sticky. I might have, at a couple teaspoons of water, I might have added too much water. But this dough, oh. I am really curious about this dough. Can't wait. I wonder what else I can use it with. Now it says to cut it out into rounds, but doesn't say how big the rounds should be. I'm imagining these as, bite size. So I'm gonna grab that cutter, whatever size that is, and we'll just cut out some rounds. And this strikes me as a dough that could very easily be rolled out again to use up all the extra that's here. Okay, I've got a tray with some parchment paper. I'm going to move the rounds over onto the parchment paper. Now, a little bit of jam in the center of each one. It's April, and that's our last jar of strawberry jam from last summer. Strawberries don't ripen here until the end of June, and we usually make our jam at the beginning of July. That's going to have to last us. Now, I'm supposed to moisten the edges, fold them over. I've got an egg wash here, which is just an egg beat up with a little bit of water. I've got a brush. Brush it on around the edges to moisten. Now, there's a bit of jam escaping. Julie and I make our jam a lot looser than most people make their jam. We don't boil it as far. We don't add pectin. We like something that's a little more spreadable, so it's going to leak out. Anyway, fold it over. And then use a fork to tamp it down. I'm sure you could sprinkle some sugar on top as well. That would be really great. Now, it doesn't say anything about pricking a hole in the top or cutting a hole in the top. My instinct is to cut a vent hole. Doesn't say it. So I'm going to do it, though, for a few of them, and we'll see what happens. I really do feel like the jam is going to explode out of these anyway. So, quick oven. I'm going to put them in. I'm going to try maybe 8 or 9 minutes. I'm going to watch them pretty closely.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Jules.
Hey, friends. What do we have?
Well, what are they called?
I do not know. Little fold-over things filled with strawberry jam.
Jam puffs. They're called jam puffs.
Okay.
They didn't get as brown on the top as I thought, and I put egg wash on them. Cooked them in a hot oven. Let's go. Give her.
Oh, they're soft, though. Mm-hmm. I was expecting something much thicker, so they're very puffy.
Wow.
They're really puffy. I'm kind of surprised at the puffiness of them.
That pastry's crazy. Okay, so it's potato.
That's fabulous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the best Pop-Tart I've ever had.
No flour ever?
No, there's flour.
Okay.
But it's a mix of flour and potato. But that is just...
Well, yeah, because the secret to the Pop-Tart is the strawberry filling. Mm-hmm. That is surprisingly soft.
Are you going back for a second one?
Yeah? Is that a problem?
No. Means I can too.
Oh. I feel like I was so surprised by the soft and fluffiness of it.
Wow. So I wonder what else I can use this for. You couldn't use it for pie, I don't think. Maybe.
You could probably do savory versions too. Really?
Sausage. Stuffed with some sausage.
Oh.
That'd be really good. Wow. Okay.
The sausage, anyway, yeah.
So the pastry is a winner. Now, this recipe shows up, we did it from the 1899 cottage cookery.
That's really good. I could eat that whole tray. I'm going to stop, though.
I have another version of cottage cookery. This one, I think, is from late 1920s, early 1930s. It's undated, of course, because, why would you put a date on a book? Most of the recipes are exactly the same between these two books, except this one doesn't
have this?
No, it has this.
Okay.
It doesn't have the classist preamble.
Ah.
That is in the 1899 version.
Okay.
It's a very, very classist, in that British classist way, the preamble about cottage cookery. By the 1930s, it's gone. This is a winner. Give this a shot. Nutella. I'd put Nutella inside it. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.